All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started then. Sorry, my second device is giving me some fits right now, but we're going to go ahead and launch right into this. Again, our resource doc is being linked in the chat. We have tinyurl.com/DPS Seesaw. Here is our official Q&A document that you can load in. This document is getting quite large because we've had with today, over 500 people take Seesaw, which is fantastic. And if you are on the call, please make sure that you are muted. My second device just went down, and so I can't mute you on here right now. So here's where we do a Q&A. You can see that we are adding in all sorts of resources here so that you can get answers to your questions. All right, so I'm going to have to switch over. Yeah. So please use our Q&A document, and you can ask questions in our chat. We have somebody monitoring the chat, and we have somebody monitoring the Q&A document. Part of the feedback, we have been reading your feedback in our evaluations at the end, is that we had too many people interrupting sessions yesterday. So I'm going to pause 4 times throughout this for questions. Please hold your questions for the chat, the Q&A doc, or when we have pause for questions, but I'm not going to stop for interruptions other than that, just for continuity and to be fair to everybody else. To get started, my name is Luke Mund. I am the regional digital coach for the Southeast. So that covers 17 schools down there. On the line too, we have a couple of my colleagues. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? All right. So Seesaw is our preferred platform for DPS for elementary kids, especially kindergarten, first and second grade. The easiest way for you to get to Seesaw is just seesaw.me. But for our sakes today, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough. So you're going to see all of Seesaw. So don't try to follow along on a device. Otherwise, you'll miss out on things. This is being recorded. You'll be able to go back. We have on our resource document a couple other walkthroughs there that you can follow step by step. The technical stuff is in our resource document as well too. So how do you get like those invite codes to your families and to your students? That's all right here. So just follow along, learn about the amazingness that is Seesaw. We've had really great responses from this. I actually talked to 3 principals in the last 24 hours about Seesaw because they're excited about getting this out to their schools. Teachers have been really happy with it. So Seesaw is a website. It is also an app. That app can be on any mobile device. So that's Android, that's iPad. It's out there. You have it, and parents can do that as well, which I'm going to be showing you today. So to get started, you will create an account on seesaw.me. You don't need to do that right now. We're just walking through. And it's going to automatically ask you what school you work at and what grade you teach, and it's going to set up your first class. If you ever want to add in more classes, you can at any time. So if you are a PE teacher and you teach, 6 different grade levels, that's great. I did that too for a lot of years for technology. You can create different classes here, but it's going to set up one class for you automatically based off of the information you have. You will then need to get your students into that class. And the way that you're going to do that is actually through, I got kicked out. Easily switch between classes the same way that teachers do, is that they would just switch over here on the left-hand side. I've been talking to teachers that they're going to have, a different PE class and a different science class and stuff over here. So either one that you choose to do should work. She had connection issues, so she's out. So let me show you that actually. That I was going to cover that in just a second, but it's a good question. So back in my settings here, I can go manage teachers, and we can have up to 5 co-teachers. So there's flexibility here, and this is where too we're having some schools that are saying the art teacher is just going to post to all of the other classrooms. They're not going to have their own art, or they could have their own art as well. But getting those invite codes for multiple classes might be a little bit challenging. So we're having schools that are just doing multiple co-teachers. You can have up to 5. All you have to do is type their email address, and it'll give them the invite. Yep. Matthew or Aaron, do we have any other questions? Yes, go ahead. So either one will work. It's really up to your preference if you want to do the co-teachers or create separate ones. I'll just say that it'll be easier on the students if you go off of one and they only have one invite code. But sending out multiple invite codes is also not that much more of a lift. So it's really up to you. Hi, Tora. Yeah, this is my kindergarten daughter. I'll be talking about a few times. Hi. Okay. Hi. Sorry for the distraction, guys. I'm trying to be a teacher and be a teacher to all of you. Aaron, did I hear you have another question? Okay, can you go downstairs, please? Go downstairs. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. Yes, I'm going to get to that in just a second when I talk about announcements. It will auto-translate for parents. Yep. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on then to our activities. That was all account setup, and again, that's our one-pager, which can be dropped into the chat again here too, for all that technical just getting going. But let's get to the actual fun things. Pretty much everything that you're going to add does this big green add button right here, which is pretty useful. And our activities are kind of like what we do every day. This is going to be all of your different assignments that you're going to give out or anything that you want to send out to your students. So I'm going to go add an activity. It's going to load 2 different things here. One is my library, so anything I've done for any of my classes in the past, I can then go back and reassign those. And it gives me the option of community, and I'm going to get to community in just a little bit, but you will have the option of connecting to literally thousands of lessons from all around the world to add to your Seesaw account. So we're going to get to that, but I want to show you first how to make your own. So say that you have a writing prompt that you want to do for your students. We're going to go create new activity right here, this big add button. We're going to name this. So I'm going to say writing for Thursday. I'm going to type up my instructions here. I'm going to give a prompt, whatever, right? We highly recommend that the first week or few weeks that you are giving non-rigorous activities to your students because we want them to get used to the platforms and the working from home. If you give them an extremely rigorous writing prompt the first day back from break, and as they're trying to get used to it, you're really going to frustrate your students. So take it easy. Our phrase that we're saying is go slow to then go fast later. So take it slow at the beginning, and then as your students get used to doing it, as they're completing more and more activities, then you can start making things more rigorous. But if you try to give a 70-minute math lesson over Seesaw, it's going to be very challenging on your students, and you might not see the participation you want. So I have my writing prompt for Thursday. I have my instructions here. Then I have all of the really awesome things I can do with my assignments in Seesaw. So that first thing here is add a voice instructions. So I can very easily give my instructions, and I can record them maybe even multiple languages for our ELA-S classes here. I can record. Write a race paragraph for me today on Thursday about one thing that makes you feel safe. Boom, I would have that typed up here. Then I have my audio instructions here. It automatically will attach. That's my 11-second clip right there. But to go even further with giving supports to my students, I'm going to add a multimedia instruction here. So I'm going to give them an exemplar of what I want them to do. And since this is a writing product, right here is my writing notes. This is what it looks like for your students as well, is that you have these 6 options that they can do. We're going to cover all of these options over the time, but I'm going to start with just writing, and then we'll come back and we'll do the other options as well. So I'm going to click on my notepad. Really great for elementary school here. It gives me my piece of paper. I'm again going to write my most amazing race paragraph in the world here. That's going to be my exemplar for my students. I'm then going to attach that. Just hit the green button. I can then record again voice of me reading the race paragraph if I wanted to. And just the green buttons attach it away for me. So now I have my writing prompt, my audio check-in with my students, and my voice recording, my exemplar, and then I can hit save. It's then going to add that to my activity library, and I can assign that out to my class. So I'm going to assign it to my example class. All of my students then are going to get this added on their page when they log in. It's going to say, hey, here's our writing for Thursday, right? And I can go back to my class and see that writing right up here. And you can see my prompt for yesterday, Wednesday as well. I'm going to...
I'm not sure how this is going.
Yep.
So when they all need different things, we still have to
Oh.
work on finding people.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to click that. So here, back on my writing prompt here, instead of assigning to everybody in the class, I can actually hit this little edit here, and I can then select just the students I want to do that. So thank you, Matthew, for stopping me on that. You can assign something to just your Ls, something just to your SPED students. You can assign something to just your GT. So maybe for my GT students, I don't want the prompt on there. I can assign it to the exemplar to them. I want them just to have the prompt. I can send it to just those students, or I can send it to the whole class. That would be my options there. Thank you. So you can see here all of my activities for the week. I have different ones. I'm going to show you guys how to do one of my favorite, and that is a drawing. So I'm going to go back to assign activity from my big green add button.
Multiple subjects and support them with each 2 subjects. I feel like we're in a very unique situation that the other teachers are.
And then I'm going to create a new activity, and this is going to be a drawing activity. And again, I would write up amazing instructions here. I would give my voice instructions, but what I really want to show you guys is what my drawing activity could be. So my drawing here, and this is very, very intuitive to my students. They're going to choose drawing. It looks like a regular notepad. It looks like any other drawing app out there. Is I can record myself. I can take a picture, obviously, so then I can draw on top of the picture, or I can just start drawing here. Oh, that's a terrible drawing. But you guys get it. I'm not the art teacher. I'm the tech guy, right? Or the social studies teacher is what I was for years. And so I'd have my drawing on here. This is how I can give out really great science lessons, social studies lessons. I can have them, take a picture of a chemical in their house, so they can send me back, salt or something like that. And then they can annotate that. They can add in text. Super easy by just clicking that over there. And kids can do this. My kindergarten daughter can do this really well. She uses an iPad for her work, and so this is all touch. She just takes her finger to the screen and can draw all of this. It's very, very intuitive for them. This is also a great place to do math. So I can trash this here, do a math problem. So I can do, 4 plus 5, plus 5 equals blank, right, for my students. Then they can come in and they can show their work on here. So if you want them to see how to do that, they could come in and do this, how they unbunch things or how they carry over, however you want to do that there. This is how you could do some math with them and see that process. Again, I'm just going to hit the green button up here at the top right. I would have my prompt, my voice instructions, my exemplar added in here. Save. And again, if I just wanted to send it to some students, I can hit that little edit and send it to just some students. So I can send to just a handful. So actually, I'm just going to send this to my sample student and have just that student do it. Here. Okay, so back on my class, I'm going to show you one more example of a really cool activity. So again, activity, add up here at the top, assign activity. And reminder, please, to mute your mic for everybody. We have a lot of people on the session today. Back to create an activity. And then here, I can get a video from my students. I just want to do like a social emotional check-in. I can give them a simple prompt of saying like, how are you doing this week? Or what's a favorite movie or book you've read or watched, right? Whatever I want. And then I can model this for my students by doing a video myself. So I can record a video. And again, this is where Seesaw is just so amazing with elementary kids, is that it's very intuitive. I click the little film thing and it pops up. Sorry, Seesaw's going slow today. I think it's because millions of people are using it. It's usually not this slow. Okay, so maybe this isn't going to want to record for me, but it'll pop up with my face right here on my camera and just have a real quick record button. It's super easy there. Another option I can do is I can have students send me a photo. So, and this one's not going to want to work for me either. So it's going to have a photo there. Matthew, Aaron, are you guys still there? Okay, I just want to make sure that my computer's not having any issues since nothing's working on me right now. But that's how... Okay, yeah. So that's how you can attach a video or a picture for your students. I've had a lot of teachers ask about read alouds. The limit for the video is 5 minutes on here. So you might want to film yourself on your camera, and then you can attach that as a multimedia, so you can upload it from your Google Drive or something if it's going to be longer than 5 minutes. I've had a lot of teachers ask me about that, how to do a read aloud or how to just do a check-in. So if it's under 5 minutes, use the video. If it's going to be longer, save it somewhere else and then upload it from your drive here. All right, so that is my activities. Again, I'm going to pause for some questions here before I show you guys the community. So, questions?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you guys heard that. Just that it's just going to be like...
Oh, yes. So a folder, you can organize any of your stuff here if I go to edit the activity. It's going to have more options here at the bottom, and then I can have a folder so I can drop things in. I would recommend using folder to say like work for the week of April 7th, and you can drop everything in there. Or you can have a folder for every day, and it's actually really cool on the folders here. So if I do, Wednesday's work here or week of April 7th, I can actually color code it here and assign that out for my students. So it can help them stay a little bit more organized as to what they're doing. But the cool thing about this is that everything appears as kind of a stream looking here for my activities. So my students are going to come in and they're going to see everything they've done. And as soon as they've done it, it's going to move away. So as long as the students can come to their activities, it's kind of like everything they need to do. And then it moves away once it's done. It's really nice. So when you add an activity is then when you send it to the folder. So go to your activities, assign it to a class, and then go more options
Yeah. So
and choose a folder to put it
my
in.
only concern with that is just
Okay?
that we still need to be focusing
You're welcome.
on our IEP goals and then supporting the class assignments. And I don't want to give them something more to do than we're already fighting with them to get their classwork done.
What tools specifically for the drawings?
Yeah, so they'll be doing it through their
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that we'll still be working on their IEP goal. That's going to be what the resource
Yeah.
is going
Okay.
to be.
So,
One barrier.
well, there's two ways that you can do it. So, for your students, you can do a drawing here, and then you can take like an image of something that you have. So, hopefully, my camera will work here now too.
Something's going on in IC or how we figure this out.
No, it's not. So I have a worksheet here. I'm trying to hold up to the camera that I can do and then have students draw on top of that worksheet for like their math problems. Or another thing that they can do is with templates. You can add in a template here and you can upload something or take a photo, and it's going to make a copy for every student, and then they can draw on top of that or fill it in if it's going to be, say you have like 3 reflection questions. You can make a template here and you say question 1, blah, 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 question 2, blah, blah, blah here in templates. And then it'll give a copy for each student and they could write on top of this. Does that answer your question for the different options?
Yeah. Well, what we're
Oh, over here? Oh, that's it. Yeah, sorry. I actually have not done that before, so let's see about that. So I can add in shapes here. Done that before. Oh, okay. There we go. So these.
and so we do need access.
Yep. There we go. Yeah. So then I can have my different pieces here and I can break them apart and stuff. Yep. Thank you for that.
Which that can be done
Yep.
with their lesson plan.
Great. I love it. I've actually gotten such great feedback from so many people, and they've taught me some different settings because we're very diverse in DPS, obviously. So we have so many different teachers using this from all over. Any other questions? Yes. Oh. Yeah, can you put on headphones? Sorry, Catherine. Can you put on headphones or turn off your speaker? Okay, thank you.
What they're being asked to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Are you using Chromebooks? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So once the students are logged in, they will stay logged in with those home access codes that I showed you.
And work on homework.
Okay. Okay. And I just saw the question come across too. Can you do live instruction? So this does not allow you to go live. If you're going to do live instruction, You can record yourself and then send it out to your students. So that's not truly live, but like that would be like in-person instruction. Or we recommend using Google Meet whenever you're going to be chatting with your students, or trying to do a class where students can then respond back. Highly recommend Google Meet for that. And you can just drop the Google Meet link in there. So I can add in here then my multimedia example. I can drop in a link to my students here. All right, I'm going to keep going then into our community resources. Again, this is something that we have a lot of people respond really well to. So if I click community, so not go to just my library, but I'm going to go to the community library. So right up here, I've set this example class up as second grade just because it's kind of in the middle for elementary. And so it's going to automatically start giving me second grade resources, but I can change my grade level. And I know we've had a lot of ECE people come on, so we have ECE specific resources. And then I can search by my subjects as well. So I can do a whole bunch of different ones. I have my history, social studies, right, religion, special ed, world languages. And I've got the tip too that you can search for either Spanish here and find some Spanish resources, or a ESL teacher said yesterday, search for a Spanish word, and those will come up as well. If I found something that I really liked, I have not vetted this at all, so just know that. I don't know what this is. My Spanish isn't that good, but it looks like a book report, like a reflection. So now I can assign this to my class here. All I would have to do is just go boom, or say I just have a handful of L's in my class, I can assign to just those students as well. So searching by the word is something I've got. I will say this whole library, well, it's really awesome, and there are literally hundreds and thousands of resources on here. These are not DPS specific resources. So if you are looking for any of the option 1 curriculum and stuff, it's not going to be on here. That's going to be up to you to get onto Seesaw. Or if you want to share something out with somebody else, this is not going to be the place to do that. You can add co-teachers, and I'll show you guys actually how to share, or I already showed you how to add other teachers on here. So this is not DPS content. This would be more our supplemental, something fun that I like for my students is I want them to get outside, right? So even though we are on these stay in place, we can still go outside for our own social emotional wellness, right? So I can go outside and find a flat rock, blades of grass, right? I can get outside to do these things to get some fresh air. Then my students can respond back with a picture. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to send this to my example class here. And I want my whole class to do this, so I'm not going to do individually assign. But now I want to edit that. So this was made by somebody else. Whoops. Sorry, I'm going to edit it back in my class. This was made by somebody else. They have their own instructions on here. So I'm going to edit this out, take away those instructions I got from the community. And I don't want them to write in their journal. I want them to respond with a video or picture of your items, right? So I would come in here and I would type in my own instructions for that, and then I don't want them to do this writing prompt, so I'm going to get rid of that exemplar, and boom, I've customized it for my class. So super easy to go back. I'm going to show you that pathway again. I'm going to go assign activity, and instead of going to my library, I'm going to go to the community library. Sorry again for it going slow. So instead of library, I'm going to go to community. Okay, the last thing I want to show you before we open it up to complete Q&A is then what happens when students are actually doing my work. So I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, and I've had other teachers come in here and do work. My daughter has actually done some work, and this is one of my favorite activities that I've done recently, and is draw a mammal. So this would be for science. I have my voice instructions on here. I want them to describe why your animal is a mammal and respond to 2 other classmates. So I'm going to review their work. I gave them an exemplar here. That was a horse. And I gave them one of the things, which was that mammals have milk. They should tell me then that mammals have hair, have live birth. They should tell me that they're warm-blooded, all those other things. And so I'm going to come on here. That doesn't look like the greatest response, but let's see here for my students. And they have a whale. So that's an acceptable thing, but they did not label why a whale is a mammal. So I would say here and give that feedback. Okay, so then I can post that comment to the student, but I still want their work out there, so I'm going to approve it. Work will not be seen by the class until it is approved. Students can see their work, but they cannot see each other's work until you have approved all that work. And again, I'm just going to show you the click path for that is any of my activities here. I have my review up here at the top. And then I can see all of my different teachers here, because the teachers are my students, that they've submitted everything here. Oh man, look at that. Somebody's drew me a really cool panda, it looks like. Definitely want to approve that. Okay, but again, I would add the comment in that they didn't tell me why that panda is a mammal. And as soon as I've approved somebody's work, it's going to then appear to the class in their journal. So right here in the journal is everything that's been approved for the class. So I can come in here and I can see all of my fellow Juan and Jimmy and Caroline, right? Everybody else's work in here. I can see Lindsay did an absolutely amazing race paragraph for me, citing the text. That's exactly what I want to see. I can see here's a template that I did, and that you can see how the students wrote over the template on there. That's only going to be approved stuff here. If you want your students commenting on each other's work, you also need to approve that. Again, we're dealing with elementary kids, so sometimes they're going to say inappropriate things. So those are going to be back here in your inbox. And I'm going to have, yep. I believe you can. Comments. Yes, I can record an audio here. And I can give them a comment here. So that would be a good way that my students can hear from me and get that specific academic feedback given to them by my nice, comforting voice. So here's a place in your inbox and your notifications that you can see everything that needs to get approved, and it's going to keep giving you these big red boxes all the time that says you have things that are unapproved. This gives you the comments and all of their items. So DPS teacher wants to do this here, right? And so that is how I would come through and I would approve all of that. I had a teacher pretty frustrated that was emailing me this morning. She's saying that my students' comments aren't appearing to each other, and I directed her here and said that this is where you need to approve those items. Okay, and you can approve all of them just real quick by clicking on that red box, approve.
Okay. Should I still do it in Whetstone or
approve. And again, it's just going slow today, so pardon that. Oh, somebody did a really great horse with hair there. I love it. So that's how I would do it. So you go to your inbox and then you have all of your notifications. I'm just showing the click path twice for everybody because I had some people that would get lost and confused. So I would click up here to give all of my approved. All right, one last thing here real quick. I realized I didn't say this before is our announcements. Your app for your students is called Seesaw Class. There's also an app called Seesaw Family. Those are two different ones on the App Store or on Google Play Store, and they have different functions. The family one will be getting notifications to your parents' mobile devices or to their emails if they set it up whenever their student does their work. So it's really fantastic that we have a lot of families that are continuing to work through this time, and they can get updates then as they're at work as to what their child is doing. and I can send an announcement to my class here and get this auto translated. So the family app translates for me automatically. It says I don't have any family members connected here. I would have to add my families in. I can send the invites right there. I can type in, and then here's what we're gonna do today on Thursday. I can send it out. I can add in some attachments even, and this will auto translate for families in the family app.
Okay.
It won't translate the student work, and it won't translate for students, but it is nice to get to our families.
Okay, cool. That's at least.
So then I would just send that out to my class, and they all got that notification that I did a new update. Okay, that is the end of the content. We are going to do another 20 minutes of Q&A for Seesaw. Again, we have the Q&A document. I'm gonna ask Matthew, can you drop in the evaluation link so that we can get feedback? We are doing this again one more time tomorrow. Yep, shoot it. Yep. So when students are doing their work, it does auto save for a period of time, and they can come back and get that.
Right. And I really do like the idea of having 1 hour be math, 1 hour be literacy, and like.
I don't know if it gives you a notification if they've started and not finished. I think they have to finish it for you to get the notification. Yeah, so you can click on each student here in your journal, and you can see like what they've been up to. So in journal, you can click and you can see which ones have submitted items. So like this teacher here, and you can see kind of what they've been up to. But I don't think you get a notification until it's actually submitted. I will point out a question that we had quite a bit yesterday during our 2 sessions is, this is really cool. I like Seesaw, but my school is mandating that I use Google Classroom. So the workaround for Google Classroom is that I can click this little button here and I can get my activity link, and I can then share this on another platform. So I can then take this embed code, put that onto my into my Google Classroom, and my students could do the activity in classroom, but it will be a Seesaw activity.
Me too. And then that's another.
Or I could send this activity out to other people if I wanted to. I could share it on Facebook if you really wanted to. I've never done that before, but.
Yeah. And service the kids. Yeah. Yeah. So, and when we probably have, right now, I was looking at it this morning, we have like.
Yep. So this one is recording right now. You can see the recording right there. This one should be up there really soon. We have about half of our webinars have been done and recorded, and they are on the remote learning website, which is remote-learning.dpsk12.org.
Exactly, because it's still a requirement that they come and be there the whole time. Very short, bless.
So I can actually let you go in as a student right now if you want. So if you go to seesaw.me and you follow these instructions that you're seeing right here on the screen. So seesaw.me, choose I'm a student. If you're logged in as a teacher, just sign out. And then here's the code for the next hour. You can play around. Just choose any of those DPS teacher accounts and you can see how to do it as a student. That code is XUOFPS, and I'll leave that up on the screen for a little bit. Yep. Yes, so that little file upload button in the in the activities, which here, did our last gentleman get the code? Is he ready? XUOFPS. Yep, no problem. So let me show you then how we could add in, say, a PowerPoint or something. So I'm going to go add an activity.
Yeah.
And create new activity. And here I have two options. I can give my example one, or probably what you're going to want to do is have the students respond here. I can then upload something from my Google Drive or from my computer that then the students will be able to write on top of or draw on top of as they wish, or I can send it out. But if it's just a straight up like attachment that I would want for my students to have, say I have a lesson that's a video lesson, and then I want to give them the slide deck, I would just go add multimedia and upload it here.
Yeah, that was my question too, and I can ask Luke that too. But is the link like that set up here good, or do we have to create a new link every day?
So again, read alouds, if they're longer than 5 minutes, that's the way you would want to do it, is do the upload right there. If it's less than 5 minutes, you can go ahead and just do a film right here in Seesaw. Yep.
Through that link. Okay. 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 Well.
So yep. So that's where we have to use the home codes, home learning codes. Those don't expire every hour. So send those home, but that has to be used for each individual student. Yep. Yep, exactly. And there's very similar codes here for families so that you can do an invite code for families. Okay. And here's what that looks like again too, this document that's generated when you do the home codes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Then I'll tell Bianca, and then
You're welcome.
I'll communicate to please add me to your Schoology resources and classes too, so I can do it.
So the family code is completely optional. That would just be an extra means of communication. And then they can only see their students' work. So it's kind of more like a classroom observer. So they could see all the assignments and see then what their student has done, but they can't see any other students on there. But then they can also receive your announcements in there.
We'll see at least how it starts.
So I get a notification every day, especially because my daughter's doing kindergarten right now, right? She's doing Seesaw activities literally every day, and I'm getting a notification every day then as to what she did. And so I say, Tora has completed 3 activities today. And then I can go in and view those.
IEP meetings, get it done. Like,
Yep.
once you're done with them, great, we'll find another use for you, but get them done first. Yeah, so for right now, I think just streamlining after wrapping.
Yep. So that's the instructions right here. They go to the app, choose I'm a student, enter in the code or do the QR reader, and then they're in your class and they start seeing it. It automatically attaches their computer then to the student name because they have that individual. So this invite code is only for Alicia M. And so they don't need to enter in their name or anything. They're just in your class.
So that was kind of neat. Okay. Oh, I posed this question to Mindy, and she's working on it about one, just so you know, another barrier that we're facing. But I'm trying to work on it with Mindy.
Absolutely. So that is our journal right here. And so students see all the other approved work. So if they do a little activity outside or something, they upload a photo, they stay connected to each other, they will be able to see each other as soon as you hit that approve.
And so it's kind of like they're working on that at the district level of like
Yeah.
what we do, and if parents don't have email or they don't have working phone numbers, or like how do we get them their finalized copies of their IEPs? How do we get them with parental safeguards? How do we get them, like things that have been forced.
So if you want to do things as private, I would just not approve them. I would give them a comment and then just not hit that approve, because as soon as you hit approve, it shows to everybody. So if you're going to do, say, like an assessment or something like that, I would not throw those assessment results out there. Give them a comment that you read it and you graded it, and it counts for their attendance for the day or whatever, and then don't approve it. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, so they would have to go back to their journal. They would get like a
Yeah, so
little
that's why we
notification
made it
themselves
layers and
that
so that she
Miss
was
Rose or
able to
whoever
execute
commented
manager.
on it,
So
and then that
and
they
then
could come in and they can hit edit and they can
I just
keep
wanted
working on it.
to kind of give you a heads up of like that's
So then they
there's
can
gonna be those
implement your
type of
feedback.
things.
Yep.
Um,
Yes. Yep.
and it's too late now, I guess though.
Yep. And that's the beauty of the family app is they can only see their work, their students' work. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean I have a printer here,
Yep. Go ahead. Thank you very much for your support.
but not like when you tell the rest of the team really. I can
Thank you.
can't. So I don't know.
All right. And I have chat open now. My second device started working on me. So, so is it a file you're attaching, or you want the students to go to a specific link? Yep. So I would just make that an activity so that they know it's something that they need to complete, and then go back. You had it exactly right. I would just do that link attachment, and they would click on that, and then I would just have them say submit a drawing of a smiley face when you're done or something, so I know when they have it done. But it would just be right here, my link.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Good questions. Yes.
Yeah.
So their community library is different than Teachers Pay Teachers or Pinterest, but it works in the same thing, in the same way. So if you buy something on Teachers Pay Teachers, uh, you could technically share that out. I don't know how I'd feel about sharing something out that I bought, but you could share that out to community. But you will find similar activities, and these are all free. So that's where I really like it is that you could just come on here and find all of your activities, add them to your class for free. So if I want to do this animal research for penguins right here, I can just grab that and send it out.
At all. Even with attempts by us, and they still won't.
Yes, you can.
Just will refuse to engage
Yep.
because they don't have any accountability at home or whatever. And unfortunately, this is just facts that a lot of the special ed kids, that is a lot of them.
Yep.
And
So
so
if I go back to my class here,
what
you're going to have to
they
do
are
it
going
for
to
each
do
activity.
is what
But
they
say
do
here, let's go
and
back to my mammal one, right? Because that's a really
like
fun one.
home
I
visits.
click at the bottom right here,
You know, like do we just document
and
this
then I
without
go
engaging?
get activity
Do
link.
we keep track of how many?
And here's my link that I would then give out
Okay.
to my students in Google Classroom. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're having the students log in with their Google, is that correct? Yes.
Right. Yeah, because then the other thing is like refusing to come to like our office hours, or refusing to, but it's like as long as
So
we're documenting
again,
everybody,
the
it's
at-home
part of the
codes
day.
is going to be what I would recommend. is that if you're gonna like email the students directly, you can send them just like their page or a screenshot of this with their code. So you'd have to do that individually, and then they can get into it.
we're again doing our best effort
Or you can email parents.
to provide those services. Okay, and again, we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. See which individual kids. I'm hoping the kids surprise us. It's kind of
Okay, so you're having the students log in then in a little bit different way. So let me show you here. So your student sign in mode then is through email Google here. Is that what you did? Okay, so then you will only see the students that have activated their account by signing in. So just like my students here, let me pull up my student list. You can see the teachers that have signed in with their DPS credentials, they automatically add themselves. So if you're missing any students, means that they have not clicked on it and set up their account. Yep. Yep. You're welcome. Yes. So you will only be able to see activities when they've been assigned to the class because you guys each have your own resource library or your activity library. So if they have created something and not assigned it to the class yet, you can't see it. So it's sitting in their library. Like all of these things here are in my library. As soon as I assign it, then my co-teacher could see it in the class.
But she already has. It's like what? I don't know. It's crazy.
Yes. Yep. 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 Let me go back to class here. So in my settings at the top right here, the little gear, and then it's manage teachers.
And then tomorrow, like we'll just
Here, I would then just type in the teacher email address and it'll send them an invite link that they click. And it's easy as that.
11. And Mindy's coming. She just texted me a little bit ago. So,
Okay, so getting info to families, I see that Devon on there. Getting the info to the families is the home learning codes. And then whatever message format that you have of sending out the individual pages to each student or in their family, because they will have an individual code to get into.
Okay, thanks, Glenn.
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing I needed to talk to you about is
Yeah.
just I will obviously finish my caseload of like meetings and stuff. But I am
Yep. So you can absolutely then do a Google Meet if you want to send out like through an email or school deets or however, say at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a Google Meet to walk through Seesaw. You can absolutely do that right here. And all you have to do then is on your screen is that you present here. And if you watch our Google Meet video or you go to one of our Google Meet webinar sessions, they will walk you through exactly how to do that with students. Okay. Yep. So use Google Meet, get them on there. That's probably a good idea. Go ahead.
Otherwise, you see most people. You already see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she's still gonna be responsible for her to save those minutes.
Yeah. So
Or
I think that yeah, this is where specials teachers, and I feel I did that for 7-8 years. I totally feel you on that. Is that you're just gonna have all of your classes over here on the left hand side, and you can leave a class at any time too through the settings, and you can just kind of manage them here. I would ask the teachers that they would put a descriptor that's easier for them. So they would say Mr. Munn's third grade class or something like that, that they
Well,
could have the name on there. That's easier for you to manage.
see, and this is where I was
Does that help?
frustrated is because I really just think like streamlining it for teachers and being as simple as
Yep.
possible
As long as you're
because
signing in with your same Google account,
right,
they'll just keep adding over here on the left side.
yes, and then if
Yep.
you
You're welcome.
communicate to Jackie and Emily about this is what they're working on, you need to do
Okay.
this
Thank
by
you,
this
Aaron.
person, you know,
Yes.
you might have to do that because that's what I was planning on doing with Jackie in sixth grade is I'm going to do all the collaboration and then I might even jump on her meetings with her like during her office hours and go to her
So either way, you can send out the activity link, and then that they can go that way. What I would probably recommend, though, just to make it easiest on your students, is that you ask to be in all of the gen ed teachers class, and then you just come in as a co-teacher and assign them activities,
office hours.
so that then
Yeah.
students have just one place to go to. Um,
Yep.
instead of having
So yeah,
multiple
I mean,
classes, especially, I mean, we're talking
this
about
is
little kids
the
here. So
difficulty with
one
doing it
place that they go to for all
for
their
teachers
activities would be the
all the
easiest.
time. And so it's not like Emily could be talking to. Although I guess they could do it in chat too. Um,
Yes. Yep.
and like she could be on chat with a couple of the
Yeah.
kids.
And then you don't have to worry about rosters and managing students and doing the invite codes. You can just get on their classes. You're welcome.
And so literacy. Yep. You could do that too. Yep.
It took her, I don't know, maybe like a day or two to get up and running on it, and now she can do it 100% completely independently. Yeah, well, because it's so intuitive.
Yeah.
Like,
So
like they
I
click on it and then a
found
notepad
that
pops up, or they click on it and they click, the
yeah.
little
And
pencil
so
for a
I'm
drawing, and it makes it super easy. Yep,
um
you're welcome.
and this is welcome to my
Hi.
job that I've been fighting for on the entire year. So I when she was saying all that, I completely disagree with it. So I'm gonna tell you, I
Yeah,
completely
so before you
disagree.
send it out, it's in your assignment library or your activity library, sorry. So you don't actually need to send it out until you
No.
are ready. There is a premium feature too that you can send out at a specific time. So
Yep.
you can
And
like build
so
5 things for Monday
I
and have them only
okay.
sent out on Monday. And they're doing premium for free for the rest of the school year. So that's an easy option for you to
I
do.
never
Or you can just build them and then assign them
regardless.
only when you
So
want.
I'm just now saying like, no, no.
So here's everything in my library. And then to know what I've actually already sent out,
Oh my
that
goodness.
appears in my class
Now I've got
activities.
equity and start
So
social
those are two
studies.
different places.
Well,
Yep.
if I still teach 17-minute courses, it's 6 max. And what's the benefit?
That's the easiest for your students, or you can just send home in a communication, say, hey, we're going to do this for math and science and this one for social studies, language arts, however you divide that up. And then they would have two different classes.
Okay.
That's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit easier just to have everything in one place. We're trying to keep it as easy as possible on our students and families. So,
Yep.
but that's up to you.
Yep. And
You're
also,
welcome.
like, oh gosh, I don't know if Lakeshore is still open, but like, I got keys for Torah,
So they don't have Seesaw
for like whiteboarding,
installed unless
like
they've done that as a
me.
policy. They would just go to
So
seesaw.me
like,
on a
it's
Chromebook.
not like we don't have anything.
So that's just the website they go to, seesaw.me.
You have until 3 o'clock today,
You're welcome.
and then it's gonna be shut down. Oh, but you can't go upstairs. Yep. So no, you can't get anything. Yeah. I mean, he's your neighbor. You know, I don't know. Like we're like I have no idea. I know. I know. I know.
Um,
Yeah, and I think Austin's next.
so either way, you could set up a whole nother class and invite just your students. I was talking with an ELD teacher about that this morning, is that, she does third, fourth, and fifth grade ELD. And so she was going to set up a different class for just her students. and assign things out there. Or if you want to go the co-teacher way, you would add activities and then just that individually assign to your students, and they would just see that there. So you'd go edit and just choose your students here. Yes, if you're gonna do separate ones, you would have to do just your students as a co-teacher. You're welcome. Mary, I see is sign in for the session. This session is actually almost over. I'm gonna post the sign in here again in case you missed it. But if you're jumping on now, the session is almost over. But it has been filmed, so you will be able to get that. Sorry. Yes. The easiest way to do that is actually to join as a student, and then you just sign out as a teacher and then sign in as a student to preview that. Well, no, because then they're only going to see if they have an activity assigned to them. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know about that. If you would mind dropping that into the Q&A doc, and I'll have to get back to you on that. Yep, you stumped me. Okay, there's the sign in. Go ahead. Yeah, so when you have an activity that you want to do, say on Monday, at the bottom here, you go more options, and you would assign that to a folder. So you would just say that that's Wednesday's work and attach it there. Okay, so at the bottom of your assignment, then just go down and do folders, edit it. And you might, since we're going to be doing this remote thing for a while, you might have Wednesday, April 8th or something like that as the folder name. You're welcome. So I just saw somebody ask in the chat, will it automatically pop up at that date? There is a way to assign here too, and you can do that again. It's 60 days, which will get you through the end of the school year. You can say, I want this activity to appear on Monday, and it will pop up just on that day. So you'd sign up for the free 60 days here. Otherwise, it goes automatically as just being posted. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to take a couple more minutes of questions for the 43 people that are still left. I do have an appointment here with my regional instructional superintendent, so I shouldn't miss that.